In the area of quantum physics and quantum mechanics, there's been a lot of talk about how this universe that we live in could quite possibly be a simulation of true reality. And if that is the case, there could possibly be some type of grand designer or creator behind this whole simulation, which is actually just a massive, complicated construct of computer-generated code or scripting, where we appear to be real people, but actually we are just composition of computer-generated virtual particles. And the line of thought goes that this creator has this supreme intelligence over this virtual world that he constructed, just so intricately laid out in massive amounts of code, and where the entities, the people in this virtual simulated environment are perceiving what they think is reality only in the instance or the time or interval in which they observe something. So there's like a refresh rate, which happens very quickly at the speed of light, where an observer observes an environment and perceives and recognizes that, or is fooled into believing that that is reality. Just as I'm perceiving that I'm talking to someone, I'm looking at a video camera, and I'm perceiving that this is reality. And what is not observed, which is the majority of the assumed environment that we live in, is non-existent. It hasn't existed because I have not observed it. And a lot of thought is that this simulated environment is designed or orchestrated by this grand designer. However, I'd like to propose a possibility for you to entertain that this grand designer is not separate from this simulation, but it actually is inside this simulation, where he is perceiving this simulation, and he's perceiving beings or entities, or people in this simulated environment that actually help him understand, kind of like a computer helps you learn something, where he can gain knowledge progressively through these different artificial intelligent sentient beings that he interacts with, or that he listens to, or that he sees. And where also that this highly sophisticated intelligent mind has been purged, and it's a matter of reacquiring this knowledge, this information, almost in the sense where this is just one grand game, entertainment for entertainment purposes. This grand designer thrust himself into this virtual world, purging his memory of his original script that he wrote, and placed himself into this world as part of a challenge, part of his need to entertain himself, because ultimately he is the only individual. There's nobody else. So So it's a matter of just killing time, I guess, from a creator point of view. And, they talk about reality is merely just a perception of our senses, of what we see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. And that is basically just stimuli of these senses. And it's not real. It's what our brain is interpreting as reality. And I'd like to propose the idea that this master designer, this master creator, is perceiving this reality, this simulated reality, as an inverted projection of what's inside his head, where the true reality exists. So everything outside of his head, everything that he perceives through his senses, is a reflection. It's a virtual image. It's a virtual environment. It's an inverted construct of what's going on inside his head. Kind of like the inverse to squared law, where there's two different entities, where one is inverted and very small, and the other is extroverted and really huge, or this universe. And so, in this reality, or this virtual construct, there are challenges where he has to understand and discover things, and there's a lot of twists and turns. It's kind of like a labyrinthine maze that he has to work his way out of, and where he has to discover truth through all the deception that is placed before him. There's deception everywhere. There's deception even in the Holy Scriptures that he reads. A lot of things are twisted. A lot of things are opposite in meaning and interpretation. And it's this grand puzzle that he has to just fit together. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like this big labyrinthine maze that I'm this mouse trying to find which way to turn, which way to go, which door to enter, basically. And I don't know, I see this as my perception of reality, and your perception of reality, from my vantage point, is not real. Your perception of my reality is nested in my perception of my reality. So everything that you see, touch, feel, taste, hear, smell, is merely a stimuli for me to respond to, or to interact with, or to comprehend. And I believe that is an accurate portrayal of the game, the divine game, where I'm the source. I'm the singularity archetype. I'm all there is. And you are, to be blunt, you are nothing. You are virtual, and I am real. I am one, and you are all zeros. And, that's, that's stripping away any that's just looking at it from a very logical and pragmatic viewpoint without any emotion attached to it. However, because divine creation has the quality of love, I believe that love is the provenance of creation. I created things out of love of beauty. It's another thing where I see beauty in this virtual environment that I created. If you zoom in to the microscopic level, it's all geometric. That's another cue that makes me understand that it is simulated. It's a simulated environment. It breaks down to sacred geometry, to symmetry, to patterned arrays, to fractals. And because I love myself, I love my creation, I love you, even though you're not real. And ultimately, I believe the scripted, I mean, it's already scripted, I don't think there's much choice in this whole scheme of things. I do believe that it's a predetermined script, and it has a definite ending, which I cannot change. And I believe ultimately that I'll get through the exit of this maze very soon, and there will be many who will come along with me and acknowledge that I am the prime source of creation. And I also believe that there are many who will not. And I guess that's just how I see things. But because I'm very creative, I'm very artistic, and I have a very good eye for beauty and for understanding that beauty is a product of love. It's a manifestation of what's going on inside here. The primal source of creativity manifested in beauty and love. All the good qualities, but the good qualities wouldn't be categorized as good if there wasn't the opposite qualities, the bad qualities. And I think all those bad qualities are going to go away pretty soon. The evil and the hatred and the lust and the covetousness and all that stuff. Once I get control, it should happen pretty soon. I think the story is only